Hello and greetings. I'm Jo Henderson and welcome to another Dux-Soup live event. This one, however, has a certain buzz about it. Hopefully you're all here to find out all about the launch of our newest feature, AI-powered campaigns. Giles Garnett, our Head of Professional Services, is here with me.
Hello.
Hello. But before I hand over to him properly, and while we give everyone a few more moments to join, I'll just walk you through what you can see on your screens. She says, let's move those slides on there. So our upcoming events, we have two upcoming events. LinkedIn Success Clinic on July the 14th will be largely run by you guys, our audience. Yes, it's that time again when we decide that a full hour can be dedicated to just your questions. So whether you submit them when you register, because there is the option for you to do that on the registration form, or you ask us on the day during the session, we won't be closing the event doors until everybody stops asking. That's what we decided, wasn't it, Giles?
That's right.
The next 50-minute mastery session on the 28th of July will focus on the data that's captured using Dux-Soup. We'll go over everything you need to know about how you get your hands on the data that you want and how you can put it to good use. So you can register for both of those events using the buttons, which I think are on the right of your screens today. The Q&A window is open as usual, so if you have any questions, ask away. The first one I'm sure will be, will there be a recording? And yes, there will. That will be available to you about the same time tomorrow, and it will be emailed to you with the link, and all the resources that we discussed today will be accessible from the recording as well. There'll also be a few articles which are on your screens, I think on the left-hand side in the resources section, which we will refer to during today's session. So with a virtual drum roll, which I won't actually hit on the desk because it will make everything go wibbly wobbly, I'm going to hand over to Giles to kick off our very exciting AI-powered launch today.
Fantastic. Thank you ever so much, Jo. And hello, good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening to you, wherever you may be in the world. And for anybody who's new to these webinars, my name is Giles, Head of Professional Services here at Dux-Soup. I've been working with Dux-Soup now somewhere around 8 years, supported by an amazing team as well. And we have put everything together and come up with the latest, greatest feature for you to launch. Well, it was actually first released at the beginning of this month, but it's now available to everybody, and you can actually go out there and use it now. So we're going to touch on a few things. This is the agenda for today. Hopefully everyone can see the screen okay. We're going to talk about anybody who's new to these webinars. What is Dux-Soup, very briefly. We're going to talk about traditional outreach versus AI outreach and why. What are our AI campaigns and how the personalization works, what you can achieve using the AI integrations. We'll do a setup and a walkthrough. Then we've got a little teaser for you, something that's coming in the very near future as well. So if you hang around long enough, there's also some really great other developments coming very, very soon. So that's a little teaser there. Hopefully lots of times for Q&A as well. So do get your questions in around this particular topic. It's something that has been requested a lot over the years, and now to have it integrated fully into Dux-Soup is fantastic. First of all, very briefly, my one slider. What is Dux-Soup? It's an automation. It's a LinkedIn automation tool. It allows you to automate sending of connection requests, follow-up messages. It allows you to build campaign sequences, and it works brilliantly with Sales Navigator. It also works with regular LinkedIn and Sales and LinkedIn Recruiter, mimicking human behavior on the LinkedIn platform to enable you to make the most of the phenomenal resource that LinkedIn is. It's a ridiculously enormous database of information, and harnessing that and making use of that is so important to so many people. If you need more information around how to install Dux-Soup, just reach out to our support team. We'll mention their details later on, or go to dux-soup.com and just follow the instructions to get a 14-day free trial. Right, so everything has obviously just got misaligned in the formatting, unfortunately, and there, Jo, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. What we can do is I might just share my other screen a second, because I know that on my other screen I can share my slide pack accordingly. Bear with me 1 second.
How frustrating. Sorry about that, Giles.
That's all right. One of those things. There we go. Hopefully you can see my screen now, and we now have a properly aligned set of slides.
Yes, we do.
There we are. We always have a backup. There we are. So traditional versus AI campaigns. You know, what we know from reaching out on LinkedIn is that personalized messages work, but are not easy to scale. Manual outreach, yeah, you can build messages and campaigns and outreach with high relevance, but it takes time and it's slow, and you have to invest a lot of time and effort into those sorts of things. We know that automated outreach, if you're using a tool such as Dux-Soup, you can get much higher volumes, you can do it quickly, but it's generic messaging. So there's our quandary. How do you achieve personalization and scale? Well, Dux-Soup AI powered campaigns is, I don't think I pop past 2 slides there. No, I didn't. Good. Is the solution. What we can do with Dux-Soup AI powered campaigns is you can personalize your connection requests, your follow-up messages, your in-mails, and you can get your AI tool to analyze the reply and then decide what happens next in that campaign, whether you're going to say that's a qualified lead, an irrelevant lead, a qualified out lead, or whether you haven't got enough information so the campaign will continue. So you can use your chosen AI platform, and we have, as you probably saw earlier, we've been now supporting 3. We've got ChatGPT, we've got Claude, and we've got Gemini. Using any of those platforms, you can be automating and personalizing all of your outreach. So it's no longer a copy paste of a message that's going into your outreach. It is a genuinely personalized message aimed to target your prospects that you have identified. It's so straightforward to set up. It's almost, it's incredibly straightforward. All you do is if you have Dux-Soup Turbo or Dux-Soup Cloud, those are the 2 editions that where all of the API and integrations are available. All you do is you create a Dux-Soup campaign, you enable AI, you enroll prospects, and then everything else just happens. AI can determine the messages, customize the message, and determine the next steps. So it's very intuitive, it's very simple. And actually, it's even more simple when it comes down to building the messages as well, because a lot of people overthink that and overcomplicate things. But we've tried to make that as simple and as straightforward as possible. So, for example, if you're interested, if you're familiar with Dux-Soup already, then you would put in your connection request like this: hi_FN_. I'd love to discuss, connect and discuss opportunities. Thanks. What we did was I took that message and I AI powered the campaign, as it were, and what it came up with, and because I can do a preview as well, so we can see what the AI platform is going to do to that message, and we can see here that the Dux-Soup translated that very vanilla, that very plain message you see there at the top, and then just took that and given your working blah blah blah, I'd love to connect and discuss opportunities. It took a certain amount of data from this individual's profile and customized that connection request. It's still within the 300 characters of a connection request, and it just takes the information that's available, the publicly visible data that's available for that profile, and manipulates that to come up with a much more personalized and bespoke message for that prospect. We'll come on to what data it uses in a minute, but that's a very, very simple example. And when we do the screen sharing and I do a little bit of live demo later, I can actually show you, some messages being created and what you can see there. Now, remember that this is just a connection request. If you were doing a direct message, you could do a very similar thing, like a follow-up message to first degree connections, etc., and exactly the same with in-mails as well. So it's putting that personalized slant on everything. So it's no longer just a bland 2-line message. It is a little bit more in depth. Super straightforward to use and very, very easy. So what information does Dux-Soup use to create these personalized messages? Well, basically it's going to look at the name of the individual, their job title, where they're working, the industry and their location. It will have a look at the profile summary and the company website, and then an absolute key one as well. It'll look at the profile language. So say, for example, you're based in, I don't know, you're based in the Netherlands, like I am here, and I reach out to somebody who's set up their profile language as being in Dutch. It will actually translate the message into Dutch and still customize it accordingly. So that's a huge game changer there as well. It will reach out in the language of that target profile. And this all happens in that process of sending the message. So if you're familiar with the way that Dux-Soup works with sending its messages, etc., it'll have that vanilla, that template message, if you like, at the start. It'll take that and it'll say, oh, this is cute to go up, but it's an AI powered campaign. It will take that vanilla message, pump it through your chosen AI platform, and then spit out the customized version and send that for you. You'll also then be able to see that later on in your Dux-Soup history, so you'll be able to see exactly what got sent as well. So that's how it's going to use all of this data here and make that message as relevant as possible for your target. So what else can we do? So we get a few things to note here. We work with 3 of the most popular AI platforms. So we've got ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. We'll show all of those in a moment. You can preview messages, so you can get a flavor as to what it's going to look like. You're not going to go through and preview every single message that goes out, of course, because that would you might as well type them yourself if you're going to go to that level of control. But what you can do is you can build your message, build your template, your simple message, and then do the AI preview and see how it's going to be handled. And it's interesting, you get very different messages depending upon which platform you're using. And yeah, you see different ways that the data is interpreted. It'll message based upon the language of the target profile. You can use it with connection requests, direct messages, and in mails. And then, and this is an optional part as well, you can then get it to validate the responses to determine the next step. And when I'm talking about that, what I mean is the qualify in, qualify out, or continue. So effectively, for example, you get a response from somebody and they just say thanks. It would probably then just continue the campaign because they've not responded to your message. They've not necessarily responded to a question that you've placed. It will then continue. So what you're doing there is you're saving time and having to go in and check messages and determine what happens next. And ideally, you just end up with then a bunch of qualified leads coming out of your platform. So you can then, of course, focus on those people going forward. What we're going to do then is I'm going to think about how I'm going to share the other screen so I can then make sure. Let's do that a second. Maybe I can go back to the actual slides now. There we go. There we are. We'll do the live demo now, and I will stop sharing that one, and I will find my other screen and talk through how to install, how to create a campaign, how to enable the AI features. We'll do some output previews, and then we'll also do some enrolling as well. Joe, was there any questions that had popped up in the meantime there? I saw you suddenly appeared.
No, I just jumped on to kind of help to visually move things around for you if it wasn't kind of working, but no.
Cool, no problem. We're all good. We're all good so far. Excellent. Right, let me share my screen a second. Share my other screen. There we go. I think that should be good. Hopefully. Can you, Joe, can you confirm you see my my Dux-Soup homepage there?
I think it's just coming up. Hang on.
Nope, I don't think that worked. Let me try again.
That didn't work.
Let's try that again. Fingers crossed. Bam. There we go. I think that's now come through.
Yep, we can see that.
Excellent. Good stuff. All right. So in this case, I'm running Dux-Soup Turbo. You'll see here I've got Dux-Soup Turbo installed in this particular instance, but everything you're going to see here is the same with both Dux-Soup Turbo and Dux-Soup Cloud from an interface perspective. But I wanted to try and keep this as clean as possible. So I have a new account here with loads of campaigns sitting there to make things overly complicated. First thing we're going to do, we're going to show you how we install our connector. What we do is we go down to our Dux dash here in the very familiar environment. For some reason it's telling me the extension is not active, although it definitely is. There we go. Over on the left-hand side, we click on our app connections, and we can see here then down the bottom of our app connections, we've got ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Now, when you open one of these, it will ask you for the account ID and your account secret. The account ID is whatever you want to put in there. The account secret is your secret API key from whichever platform you choose to run against. And we can see here, these are the ones that I installed earlier today. Now, if we take, for example, ChatGPT to start with, we're going to enable this one. we can see the options here as to what I want to personalize. So I can personalize connection requests, direct messages, in-mails, and I can get ChatGPT to automatically continue the campaign, qualify in or qualify out by interpreting the prospect's response. So I'm going to have all of these enabled at the moment because I want to just show you a few examples here of messages, which I think hopefully will be useful for you. We'll use ChatGPT to start with. Sorry, falling over my own words. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our drip campaigns. Now, because I've got my AI integrations enabled here, we'll see how I've got a new checkbox cunningly entitled AI powered. So you can AI power any or all of your campaigns. You can of course not turn the AI powered on for some of your campaigns, but in this case I've got a campaign here that I've called it AI Demo Outreach, and I've AI powered this campaign. Now I have got these as my base messages. These are my templates, my very basic messages here. And what I should do is sort of sign off these, sign these off, shouldn't I really? Because I meant to do that before the call, but there we go. So what I've got here is I've got a connection request. Congratulations on the new job. I'm here at Dux-Soup, blah, 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 blah. That is my base message. Dux-Soup will take that and it will put it through ChatGPT in this case and come up with a version which is more suitable to my target audience. And if I want to see what it's going to do, I can hit the AI preview button. And what we then have here is a selection of recently visited profiles, which are the most recently visited profiles. And I can just select one of these here. And what we'll see in a moment is we will see the personalized message. Congratulations on the new job. It's impressive to see how blah, 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 blah. There we go. That is how it is customized my message. Nothing overcomplicated, nothing over elaborate. It's just kept the base message and given it a personalized flavor. Now, of course, that's just a connection request message, and I can, of course, go through and check all of those if I wanted to, but essentially that's how it's going to handle that message. This is a fairly straightforward message anyway. Now, here I've got a follow-up message which is going to my new connections after they've accepted, and I've got here, thanks for the ad, how's the new job going? Curious as to whether you've used LinkedIn automation before. Let's see what it does to that. Let's do an AI preview, and let's just take, I don't know, let's take any of these, it doesn't really matter. There we go. So thanks for the ad. How's it going? Given your experience on talent acquisition and focus on innovative strategies. So again, it's taking certain aspects of the profile that it's finding and giving that a personalized flavor. It's not completely rewriting everything. It's just using that as the framework. And we could do the same here with this as well, as someone who's working in the legal recruitment space, blah, 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 blah. So we can see there, very simple, very basic process to follow. Now, we'll come on to this a little bit later because I know some people have been doing some testing on this and bits and pieces as well. The one thing I would really advise against is putting instructions into your templates here. You'll see that these are all very, as I called them earlier, they're vanilla messages, they're standard messages. What I'm looking to do here is take that message and add some variation to it. I'm not looking to rewrite an entire script here. I'm taking that standard message and looking for as much, for the appropriate personalization where I can get it. Some people I've spoken to, they've been sort of like trying to put instructions in there in the box, etc., to rewrite things in this style, etc. To be honest, you're better off keeping your messages bland, and there is actually a fairly good reason for that as well. If for some reason your AI platform is down and the interpretation fails, there is a chance that this message here will be sent. So if it's a standardized message, then that's what your target will get if for some reason there's an outage on your AI platform. So do bear that in mind. Now let's just for the fun of it, let's go and change and see if we get any slightly different messages. If we, for example, use Claude now rather than ChatGPT, we can go back to our drip campaigns here, and I don't think we'll get to a huge amount of variation here, but you never know. Let's just see what it comes up with. There we are. Thanks for the ad. How's the new venture going far? Building and blah, blah, blah. It sounds like a really interesting challenge. That's right. This with Claude, you tend to see a much more elaborate interpretation of the messages. So you see a slightly different flavor here as well. So really, you can see how quick and straightforward things are to actually get these things up and running, and how you can harness the power of the Dux-Soup automation tool alongside, in this case, Gemini, ChatGPT, or indeed Claude. You can really make sure that you're not doing that copy paste thing. Now, some people in the past have suggested that, with automation, LinkedIn is cottoning on to the fact that, you're sending standard messages and you are, copying and pasting the same message again and again. Of course, this is now adding a huge amount of variation into every message, because every message will be different, because every profile on LinkedIn is different. Nobody has the same profile. So you are always adding almost infinite variances in there, infinite variables in there to allow that to happen. Once you've built your campaign, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to let's just put in here very quickly an extra follow step there and save that. Once you've built your campaign, or campaigns, of course, you can then, of course, just enroll people into your campaign in the standard way. And the way, of course, you would do that, you go into LinkedIn or Sales Navigator or LinkedIn Recruiter, you find your list of prospects. So here, for example, I've got a list of prospects here. And now from within the extension here, we can now enroll profiles. There are other ways to do this as well, so we could be doing it in different ways. But here, for example, I can go AI outreach. How many people do I want to put in there? I don't know, let's put 30 people in there. And Dux-Soup will now take those people, put them into the campaign, and start running them. Now, some of these people may already be in a different campaign, so it may skip past them. But effectively, all I'm doing now is just following that standard Dux-Soup procedure of enrolling prospects into the campaigns. Now, if you want more details as to how to enroll people, we've got a couple of webinars we've done recently covering both Turbo and Cloud. So in those webinars, you can see all the different enrollment options with regards to doing it from a search result or a different list, or uploading your own data. But what we're doing here is essentially we're saying, yep, these are the people I want to reach out to, and going to chuck them into that campaign. And I now know they're all going to get a custom written message from my chosen from within my chosen AI platform. And that's really as simple as it gets. Now, of course, we could scratch below the surface and go into a little bit more detail. So a couple of things I'd like to point out here within our support pages. So if you go to, well, let's go to the support homepage. So if you go to this page here, if you go to support.dux-soup.com, and you go to our integrations page here, for all of these integrations, so chat for Claude and Gemini, you can just go in here and you can follow the step-by-step instructions as to how to install and then how to use the integration. The full documentation is all here, so you can see in here exactly the information that you need to put in there. It even points you to where you will find your API connection information for your account secret key. And then, yeah, just follow the instructions there. Use this webinar as a reference guide as well, because all of these things will help you to really sort of turbocharge things when it comes to customized outreach. And that's where the big difference is here with this. There's so much noise, and there's been so much noise made around AI over the last couple of years. And I think it's great that we've taken a bit of time to consider the options, and now we've sort of said, okay, yeah, this is now achievable in a scalable, in a safe and a reliable way. And to be able to release all three of these in parallel has been really, really a real testament to the development guys here at Dux-Soup. We have more developments coming, so keep tuned for that. I'm going to stop sharing a second. I'm hoping there's going to be lots of questions coming up for all of that, because we've talked there about installing the campaigns, the features, preview output, and then how to enroll. What I want to talk to you about next is best practices and guidelines. So this kind of covers again what I talked about there about putting prompts into your messages. Stick with clear, simple messages using your own natural language, and still stick to your call to action, whatever it may be. Do not write long, complex personalization logic in your messages. Keep your message, as I said earlier, I think the easiest, best way is it's a vanilla message, it's a template, and then let your AI platform take the data that it can gather from LinkedIn to add that personalization slant to it. And it'll do it appropriately. Whether it's a connection request, it'll still keep it under the required number of characters, etc., etc. So really, really, really do think about that and make sure that you're not throwing too many instructions into those blocks, because that's not how this is designed to work. We've already done the live demo. Oh, am I going the wrong way? There we go. So a couple of FAQs that have come up from discussions we've had internally and with a couple of people we've done previews with. Will AI replace my template? No, it will not. Your template remains as the foundation, and AI is just customizing that message. And you say, how do I know what's going to be sent? Well, you can use the preview button. We've seen that already. We've gone in there, we've looked at the preview button, we can see how it's interpreting, and we can see the different flavor of messages there, the subtle difference between ChatGPT and, in that case, Claude. We didn't look at Gemini, but maybe we'll have time to do that later. What happens if you get a reply? Optionally, that's one of the options you've got. You can get the AI platform to determine the next step, as in qualify in, qualify out, continue. And you can look that up as well within our support pages to see exactly how that works. And does it work in multiple languages? Absolutely. So it will support whatever language your target audience or your target prospect they have as their language within their homepage on LinkedIn. So rest assured that Dux-Soup will make use of that, and the AI platform will as well accordingly. So in summary, because I want to give lots of time for questions, but I also want to give you this little sneaky preview as well, which I've been mentioning every now and then. 3 popular AI platforms with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. You can outreach personalized messages at scale, saves you time on message writing, saves you time on building lots of different variations of campaigns perhaps, and it reduces prospect analysis responses and handles the next action. So it kind of covers all the bases from that perspective. We will see this evolve. I'm sure we'll see even more complexity added to this in the coming weeks, months, etc., as these things evolve and as maybe people experience different things. But we've got here a really fantastic baseline to work from with these 3 particular platforms. Right, coming soon. This was the teaser. We have coming very, very soon the Dux-Soup MCP server, and that will allow you to interact with your Dux-Soup account via your chosen AI platform, essentially. So people are thinking, okay, what's an MCP? So basically, you can use it to, using natural language through your chosen AI platform. You could use it to, for example, analyze campaign results. Just say, tell me how many prospects responded in this campaign. You could create campaigns from scratch using a single prompt. It could say, for example, find my first-degree connections who are based in London and write a campaign to invite them to an event and then provide the event details, for example. You can build lists and enroll them into campaigns and manage campaign progression. There's loads and loads of really exciting stuff coming there. That is, we've seen a preview version of that, and it's currently undergoing testing, so that's coming very, very soon. I'm really excited about that, and that's going to take the AI integration stuff to the next level, I think, there, which is super, super exciting. So if you've been hanging around for what that teaser was, that is what it is going to be. It's the MCP server functionality, which is coming soon. On that note, I've been talking for 30 minutes, and I said to Joe, I think I'm going to be talking for about 30 minutes, and I think I've hit it pretty much on the head.
You have.
Almost like I've done this before, Joe.
Almost. As predicted, we have lots of
excellent, really, and we've got lots of time to cover them as well. Cool.
We do. Right, I just want to make these a bit bigger so I can see them. Right, so Francisco is particularly excited about MCP to the point where, Francisco, is that male? I think that's I think that's a guy, has been saying the whole time through, are you going to get to MCP? Are you going to get to MCP? Tell me, tell me, tell me. So we certainly have one happy client there.
Oh, fantastic. That's great to hear.
Yeah, so we've got lots of different questions. So Stefan said, could you show us how it would translate, for example, a German profile?
I would have to actually go and find a German profile now.
Stefan,
I'm not sure how quickly I'm going to be
German?
able to do that.
Perhaps you could connect with Giles and the two of you could maybe take that conversation offline. Would that make more sense?
I'm quite happy to.
Yeah.
If we can get his details,
yeah.
I will do a test and I'll send over some examples. Very happy to do that. To try and find somebody who specifically has that language, I'd have to spend a bit of time.
That's fine. I didn't know if you might
filtering
have
that. No, I could.
Might take
while we're talking, you never know. I might be able to do. We'll see.
So Stefan, I'll get in touch with you afterwards. Rob, this is number 10. In the first example, AI made a comment about how impressive it was that the person expanded their success. How do you check that the AI is correct in that conclusion? And how do you access the thinking process in case the prospect asks you a question about that from your message?
I'm going to try and pull that message over so I can actually read it. Which question was it?
It's number 10 from Rob.
Expanded their success, and how do you check their? I think that particular example was it was based upon doing people who changed jobs recently, because it was something that we were doing previously with Sales Navigator, and I think it was really asking about how their new job was going, and I think that was based upon matching up my campaign content with my target audience, Rob. But again, I'm happy to take a further discussion offline, and we can share more examples with you. No problems at all.
Yeah. Okay. So Aaron has asked, if there is a response from the individual, can we have a follow-up message based on their response?
Not currently.
Okay.
That's what I'll say there. I'll say not currently, and we'll leave it hanging there. But I think that's a direction that will perhaps be something that will be coming in the future, Aaron. So watch this space.
Okay. Adam has asked, do you need a paid ChatGPT, Claude or Gemini plan, or do they run on the free AI versions?
With ChatGPT and Claude, I believe you need paid editions. Okay. With Gemini, there is a free tier that you can certainly test on. That's there. But it's all covered there under the support documentation as well. The support pages that I shared earlier. If you go in there and you can just click on the links, and it'll show you exactly what you need there.
Okay, that's fab. So on the left of your screens, there are things like Claude integration, and then the other one is Claude tips. So the support pages is the tips that Giles has just mentioned there, and the integration version of it takes you to the integration, how to install it and stuff like that, and the integration pages for it. So there's lots of different ways you can get a bit more information. Lee has asked, can you create a prompt for the AI messages?
Not currently, no.
Okay. Which then also leads into Bruno's question.
I mean, a lot of those questions. So Bruno's question is there a way to customize the tone, because AI just sounds like AI sometimes. That's where write your message as you would normally, and then the AI will customize it accordingly, basically customizing it and personalizing it towards the individual. At the moment, you're not customizing the tone. It's just purely taking what you're giving it and putting the personalization in there.
Thank you for that one. Eric has asked, what happens at chat? Does it keep all conversations in chat, or does it read replies and answer automatically?
I assume what Eric is talking about here then is LinkedIn chat or Messenger. I assume that's what he's responding to there. Does it keep all conversations in chat? So Dux-Soup will not do anything with those messages, and it will read, but it will check for replies, and it will not answer automatically. No. So the chat, I believe, is, I think my interpretation of what you're saying there is, in that message box, will it do things with those, what it'll do is it'll send messages on your behalf, and then it'll analyze the responses that are coming in and then qualify out or continue the campaign. It will not create new messages for you to get into a virtual conversation with people.
Okay, thank you. Ralph, I receive LinkedIn messages every day to me that are obviously AI generated. They seem to follow the same template. Can I write a prompt to use my style of writing? So we've answered that one. I think there's a few of you that are asking that one. Sorry.
Yeah, and some people are testing these sorts of things. So some people are putting some prompts in there. But as I said earlier, I'm very much an advocate of keeping things as simple as possible. But yeah, have a play around with it and use the preview button to see how it's handling those. That's the beauty of having that AI preview button, is there to help you with that and to make sure that okay, is it following the instructions I'm giving it? My recommendation: keep your messaging simple, because that tends to look more genuine anyway. And then your AI model will then follow whatever interpretation it puts upon the combination of your message and your target's profile.
Okay. Nissa has asked, I have a Claude organization subscription. When connecting Claude, do I need to use the primary owner's account details along with the organization ID? I tried using my own email address, which is not the primary owner's, as the account ID. And
Nissa, you don't need to put in. Okay, yeah, no, I'm just reading that there. Yeah. So what you don't need to do is you don't need to put in the, because all you actually need is the key. The secret key is all you actually need. Let me have a look. The account ID, you can put whatever you like in there. I would put Dux-Soup test, for example, in the account ID. The account secret is the primary thing that you would require there. But if you're stuck, then please email info@dux-soup.com, and
they can direct you.
They will be able to help you. Yes.
Lovely, thank you.
But I think that's one point there that you need, depending upon which API which you're using. Of course, you will need to have some money on the account in order to use it.
Okay.
So be aware of that. So there would need to be that in place.
Yeah. Okay. Paul asked, which AI platform would you recommend?
Any of the three that you've seen presented today. I mean, the nice thing about Gemini is there is a free tier that you can use. So yeah, that's one of the nice things. You can actually play around with that one. When I was doing testing personally, I preferred the flavor or the tone of the Claude responses over the ChatGPT ones. That's my only observation, but that's just a personal thing.
Thank you very much. Rob, have you found a difference in performance between the different frontier AI models, AI, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini?
I found they're all performing consistently.
Okay.
So I've not seen any differences there.
Okay. And then this is referring to right at the beginning when you were kind of doing the testing, I think, on the preview. The question came from Fatma. Do we need to enroll the profiles first so that we can see the preview?
You'll only see the preview for profiles that you've recently visited. So, for example, if I now visited a profile generally, then you'll see the preview for that particular person. So Dux-Soup is literally just taking the last 5 people that it's visited or seen the records of as a sample. So if you wanted to, for example, test it out on a group of people and you wanted to, maybe open 5 profiles, then build your campaign and do the preview, you'd then be able to see those people and see the types of messages. If you are going to do that, I would recommend, visiting a couple of profiles that are relevant to your target.
Yeah, to the campaign.
And then to the campaign, for example, if you're reaching out to recruiters and you've for some reason been visiting a whole load of, I don't know, chefs or something, or plumbers, then you're going to see a very different type of messaging. So yeah, I would really sort of make sure if you want to get really good samples, visit a handful of profiles anyway, because then Dux-Soup will use that data to give you the samples that are relevant to your actual campaign.
That was a good question. Can I watch this again later? Yes, you'll be sent the link. This is David. Yes, you'll be sent the link tomorrow. So you can watch all of this back again.
I've just seen a message come in from Eric again,
yeah, go on.
saying, is it linked to his chat account? Is it linked to my chat account? And I'm not sure what he means by his chat account there.
Do you mean
so
ChatGPT account, Eric?
Is that your ChatGPT account, or is that your chat account within your ChatGPT? So that's where you need to, within your ChatGPT account, you would need to have API credits, and you would need to set that up, and we can let me point you towards let me find the correct article. I'm going to respond to one of your messages with a link, so have a look at that link, and there's a link in there which shows you where the open API the ChatGPT keys are available. So have a look at that particular one there, and then hopefully that gets over your question there, Eric. Sorry, I saw your name pop up 2 or 3 times, and I thought we should address that one. Sorry.
Thank you. Is this solution, this is from Sam, is this solution suitable for resale or for running with multiple client accounts?
Who was that question from? Sorry.
That's Sam. That's at the top, actually, number 60.
Oh, okay.
Jumped out of sequence. Sorry.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. If you want to be customizing messages for your agency clients, absolutely. Very much. It's a case of what are your expectations? What are your clients' expectations regarding the personalization of messaging? But yeah, absolutely. You could absolutely be using this towards your agency clients and being able to sort of, harness truly, I'm trying to think of the right word, sorry, truly customized messages at scale.
Cool. Mariana has asked.
Oh, right. Eric's message is anything kept in ChatGPT, i.e. conversations? No, nothing is kept there, because all this is doing is this is a query that's being sent via the API for a response that's coming back.
Okay, so that content will stay in Dux, not go into your ChatGPT account. Yeah.
And I've just seen a message from Bruno. Can you clarify what account secret is? And again, from the support pages, I'm just going to put one link to a support page there, so you can then see what the account secret refers to. And it's basically your secret key.
So Rob, number 27, Rob has also asked that same question. Can you demonstrate how to get your secret API code?
Let me see if I can. Oh yeah, I'm not in.
Is it not
logged on to ChatGPT at the moment? So, but yeah, basically, if you follow the link that I'm putting into the and that was for ChatGPT, of course, you get a similar thing if you go into the Claude or Gemini solutions. But yeah, that points you there directly towards. If you read there, it shows you how to generate the secret or the API key from the keys page there after you've signed on to your relevant account.
Okay. Mariana,
and make sure you have some cash on there, otherwise yeah, you need to actually load it up with some credits, otherwise there's nothing for it to be able to do.
Okay. Mariana, what if the profile speaks Dutch but I want to reach out in English because I am not Dutch? I don't speak Dutch.
That's a great question. I don't know. Mariana, I will have to take that one away and check with the developer, so leave that one with us and I will get back to you.
Okay, I've noted your details, Mariana. Mark has asked a great question. Have you been able to determine through testing if the AI is increasing response rates?
Oh, I haven't myself, but one of my colleagues may have done, and what we'll do is we'll get back to you on that, Mark. I may be getting a response from one of my colleagues right now, but bear with me 1 second. I might get a message that pops up in a second, Rob, but yeah, I personally haven't looked at it that closely. I've been looking primarily at the testing, the functionality testing, but I know some of my colleagues have been using it in anger and have been looking at the results there. And if I get a response in a second, then I will let you know.
Lovely. Mariana, again, can you show how we'll interact with the AI platform to determine the next step?
So literally all you do is, bear with me 1 second. I've got, let me share my screen a second. This is an answer to a question that came just now from Rob around success or otherwise of a campaign. We haven't done A/B testing here specifically, but this here is just an example funnel from an AI campaign that we've been running internally. Let me just make sure I share the correct thing. Oh, come on. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. So this here is a campaign that has been running, an AI campaign. So we can see here a 28.8% acceptance rate and with 32 responses. So it's a really significant numbers there. But I can't say whether that would have been more or less successful without AI. But yeah, we can always look at that in more detail at some point. What was the next question, Joe?
The next question was, this is from Keith, number 32. How can we access the prompt or command to the LLM? For example, in the Claude example, I would have liked to delete any quotations and dashes in the answer, since that looks very AI generated.
Yeah, currently, as I've said already, it's only taking that base message, that vanilla message that you create, and then putting a variance on it. I can see perhaps something in the future where you'll be able to determine certain parameters, but we're not at that stage yet. But yeah, currently, and as I said earlier, some people have done some testing with those sorts of instructions placed within the messages, and some have been very successful, some less so. But yeah, try it out, have a play around with it, and see what you get.
Seen that one. So
I've just got a message from one of my colleagues as well, saying that at the top of his message, he says no EM dashes at the top, and it has worked for them so far, just as an example.
Oh, okay. Good to hear. We've had a couple of questions, actually. The latest one I've seen is from Paul. Are there any plans to work this into an email campaign so that you can use both?
Sorry, can you say that again, Joe?
Are there any plans to work this into an email campaign?
Not currently, but that doesn't mean that we won't in the future. I think one of the biggest problems there is, email outreach has become such a tricky space with so many spam filters, etc., in place. There's no specific plans to do that at the moment, but that doesn't mean we won't in the future. Just as a side note on some of these customization messages that people are talking about, it could be that the MCP solution that's coming will help to solve a lot of these personalization and types of messages that you want to create. So let's have a look and see how that evolves as the MCP solution is released as well.
Hans has asked, does it have to be in English? And I think by that it means, do you have to put the prompts in English in the first instance? Can it be in any
No, not at all.
language?
You put it in whatever language you like.
Whatever language, cool.
And it only works in Turbo and Cloud, Hans. It doesn't work in Pro, I'm afraid.
Yeah, there's a few that have been asking about that. So
yep.
I was about to say the same thing. Remove that one. We've answered that one. Scott has asked, is the API key different to having a paid account?
Yes, because you can have a paid account on these platforms, but you probably need then additional credits on your API key. Some accounts include certain number of credits, but yeah, just check out whichever platform is you're using as to what you'll require, and just follow the support pages, and our support team will be able to help you further if you need more details there.
Yeah, okay.
Francisco, yeah, vanilla message, yeah, okay, yeah, I get you on that one. Said it a few times now.
Kino, great job, guys. Just a question. How can I give specific instructions to the AI? For example, remove the hyphens from the text, stuff like that. So I think we've just touched on that one. Apologies for some of the repetition, guys. I'm literally, there's so many here. Can you pull live signals into the messaging? That's from
no, because Dux-Soup is looking at static data that's gathering off LinkedIn. So the fields that we talked about earlier, the first name, where they work, etc., etc. So it's only going to purely use those basic bits of data for customization. So we're not at that point yet, no.
Okay. Keith has asked, is this new capability accessible through a Dux-Soup module in make.com?
Not currently, but that's a really good question, Keith. I'll make a note of that.
And Rika has asked, hi, I was wondering what the benefit would be of connecting the AI platform we're using to this. I suppose it depends what AI platform you're using. I don't know that you can necessarily.
Who's this question from, sorry?
This is number 31 from Rika.
Well, the benefit, it depends on what AI platform you're using, Rika. Very difficult to answer that question.
Could be great, depends. Michelle, when are you connecting to Constant Contact, formerly SharpSpring?
We do link to SharpSpring.
I believe we still do, yes.
We still do link to SharpSpring, but again, let me take that question, Michelle, because if the Constant Contact integration has just been migrated across from SharpSpring, then maybe that's something that we just need to update in our labeling. But let's have a look at that one in more detail.
Francisca's asked, can we upload MD files about our product so that AI-driven conversation is informed?
Ooh, don't know the answer to that one, Francisco. We'll take that one away. And yeah, I like
that one. See, this is how new it is, guys, because we're all still learning about it too.
And I think Adam's question is exactly the same, MD markdown file. Yeah. So we'll take that one away.
What else have we got? That one we've answered.
If any of you guys are not using Turbo or Claude, and you're maybe a pro user at the moment, then please bear in mind that you can just reach out, and we can always facilitate a free trial on Turbo, so you can play around with all of this stuff and actually see how it's working. I think some of those questions there that were asked around MD files, etc., I think that's where the MCP will also cover a lot of that stuff, as well as we start to unlock more of these capabilities. Now, this is the first step. This is very much the first step of customizing messages. But the MCP, that is going to open up a lot of more of these sort of customized approaches, and also using your own personal data more.
Kino also asked another good question, and I'm not sure if we know the answer to this either. Could you mention in the invitation message that I'm reaching out because I noticed we're both connected to two people, and hope that the AI can define that?
I don't believe we're able to see who the mutual connections are at the moment, so I don't think that would work, Kino. But let me double check that one for you.
Okay. That one we've answered. Can this solution run on a server? From Sam.
What sort of server, Sam? Because Dux-Soup Cloud is running on our servers. Of course, you can run Dux-Soup Cloud on our servers. You can you use Dux-Soup Cloud, so it doesn't have to run locally. But yeah, if you want to send some more details across, then I was talking about his own LLM. Well, it would need integrating, but depending on the LLM that you're using, then potentially, but it would need integrating. So yeah.
Okay. German, French, and Portuguese have formal addresses and non-formal addresses. How does the LLM react to this? To which will it default?
Again, I think the MCP solution will help address this, Francisco, because you'll be able to give it much more human prompts in that particular scenario. So let's wait and see how that brings us. And yeah.
Right,
Eric says, I use chat to create my campaigns. Will it still customize beyond what it originally set up? Yes, absolutely. It's a question from Eric. Of course it will, because it will look at each profile in turn to determine the customization part. Because if you're using ChatGPT to create your standard templates, then of course it's going to add customization into those as well.
David said, do we have to decide between Claude or ChatGPT, or do we integrate both? And then
you can integrate both and then just enable one or the other and turn them on and off depending on your if you leave them both on, it will take the originally integrated one, or the one that you first integrated. It will use that one as preference all the time.
Yeah, okay. Stefan has asked a few more questions around Turbo. Stefan, when we close the session down, there'll be a pop-up to request a free trial. So either click on there or get in touch with us, and we'll sort you out with a free trial so that you can have a play with Turbo.
And book a demo as well, Stefan. Happy to sit down and show you everything, all the nuts and bolts of Turbo as well, to help you sort of see that as well.
Cool. Larry said, I work as a recruiter, so I'm reaching out to engineers, specifically in the Bay Area, San Francisco. Am I to understand that we should keep messages short, adding Calendly scheduling links and or job description links are not advised when using Dux-Soup?
Your messaging is entirely up to you. Now we did quite a lot of covering this before in some of our campaigns do's and don'ts. Your messaging is entirely up to you. Larry, if you want to reach out to my colleague Scott, who's also in San Francisco, he may be able to assist you in this particular area as well. So maybe just ping a message to our support team, info@dux-soup.com, and arrange a call with Scott. He's based geographically very close to you. So I think that would be really, really handy for you to maybe have a session with Scott, and he can help give you a few pointers in that area.
I've had a couple of people asking about the recording. Just a reminder, the recording will be sent to you tomorrow. So it normally sends out about the same time as the event itself. So you'll receive that tomorrow. Just a little secret, it's actually the same link that you used to join today. So you can always have a little play. And if in a couple of hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours time, you're desperate to watch it again, if you try the link, it might have rendered already. So yeah, but otherwise just wait for the email. I
saw a couple of messages around people who've said, oh, I've installed it and blah, 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 and they've not seen messages come through when they've hit the preview button. It may be because you don't have any credit on your account. So do double check that you've got some credits there, because that is something that you may see. That's where, for example, Gemini, you can get a free, there's a certain number of credits you can get for free, and that's a really handy way to sort of test things out. And yeah, so have a go at that one as well.
Okay, we're getting to the last few now. Francisco, the actual model and effort is decided at the supplier side. Is that correct?
Yes.
If I want to use Claude Opus, I decide that at the key level. Yeah. Okay.
I'd point the answer towards, I guess I do mean credits on the AI platforms, Mariana. On the other thing there, I would wait for the MCP, because that's when you can give it much more direction and use that much more. It's a standard instruction level at the moment. So yeah. Larry, email info@dux-soup.com and say, I need to speak to Scott, please.
I've actually just sent him Scott's address as well. What paid version of the GPTs do you recommend to run drip campaigns? That's from Mark.
I really don't know, Mark. I'm sorry, I don't have that level of information. Our support team may be able to assist you there. Yeah.
That was that one. I think you've covered the message from Leah when you said about the credits. That's number 62.
Yeah, that I think is it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lydia, pop some credits on there, and hopefully that should work.
Stefan, we've covered already.
Stefan, we've covered. Does the AI have the ability to make comments when you like a prospect's comment within a drip campaign?
No, it doesn't, Mark.
No, it doesn't. We've covered that.
And we've answered Francisco's.
And we've done it.
There we go.
Woohoo, we got to the end. Yay. Oh, look, bang on as well.
Fantastic.
17. Oh, it's just gone over 1 minute past. Well, it was amazing. If anyone does have any more questions for us after having a play with it, our next session in 2 weeks' time is literally just an hour of Q&A, and Scott's joining us for that one as well. So you've got you all covered. So register for that one. Go away and have a play with all the AI functionality, and then you can submit your questions to us for that session. What's this one, Charles? Excellent, Giles and Joe. Thank you both. You're great. We'll take that. Thanks. Thanks, Charles.
You're welcome.
Brilliant. And Bruno, I was able to connect. Yes, Bruno, nice. So yeah, sign up for the next two. We've got the LinkedIn Success Clinic on the 14th. On the 28th is all about data. And that was a request from Poppy. And we all voted on that one in our last 50-minute mastery. So that data session is just a quick one. There's all the details about support. And that's the email address as well that we've mentioned a couple of times now, info@dux-soup.com. If you've got any problems, then you can always start with a quick email to the support team, and they will happily advise on your next steps if they cannot resolve it there and then. And I think that's it, actually, isn't it?
It is.
Certainly that's it from me. Giles, amazing job. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for bearing with us, everybody. These things are new, and hopefully this is going to start to open a lot more possibilities for people and really pique people's interests in being more, in approaching these things in a slightly different way, and gives so many more possibilities for customizing your outreach. Yeah,
keep your thoughts and updates coming, and we will see you back here in 2 weeks' time. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.